Welcome back to the text project. Today I'm going to map out some compositions in a few different ways for you to do. And this is what you're going to want to upload into the update link on Thursday, April 9th. So you can see I'm just going to work in my sketchbook. I've laid out a space here, 24 inches by 18. That's that big paper some of you took. And I have the word hot dogs. It's 6 letters, but it's really 2 words, so I'm going to be able to divide it. I'm going to make mine 5 by 5, like 5 inches by 5 inches each letter. So I wanted everything to be centered, so I divided my paper up. That's the halfway part with 12 inches on each side. And now I'm going to kind of block off my letters and make sure that they're in a place that I want them. You know, so since my letters are going to be 5 by 5, this is going to take up, with an inch between the 2 letter blocks, it'll take up a total of 11 inches, right? So then I'll have this extra negative space. So I'm just going to start off by just drawing it in. I mean, obviously I'm not measuring it because it's not to scale. So this is going to be 5 inches, 5 inches, and then there's going to be an inch in between. Okay, so I have my layout with my 5 by 5 square, my 5 by 5 square. And then the negative space, since this is going to take up a total of 11 inches, it's like we're back in math class. You know, that way we know how to plot it out correctly. And then you want to consider how much space do I want between each of these letters? Like maybe this letter, maybe it'll be a ½ inch. So maybe it'll do 0.5, and I'll make another inch. Another square. So I'm going to draw out my letters a little bit, and then, maybe I'm going to do some stripes in the background. So I want to have it be a whole composition. It's going to unify my letters and relate to this theme in a visual way, in a sort of a graphic way. So I'm just going to plot out what I'm going to do with these. So this is a way that you can just do a whole composition. And then I'm going to show you how you might just think about arranging things where it's not working on just a giant piece of paper. You might have to cut the letters out and think about how you're going to arrange them or how you're going to blend them together visually. You can also do some sketches of how you might arrange cutout letters. I mean, there's different options where you could, if you don't have really big paper, I would definitely suggest cutting them out. Think about the edges. Maybe you'd cut the edges out differently. I don't know. I mean, the idea of doing experiments and sketches is so we can figure out, I have all this negative space, maybe there would be some kind of an image there that would draw my pieces together. So I've measured out a 5 by 7 space to play around with some individual letter shapes. And think about how I can join them visually. Unfortunately, we don't have a beautiful bulletin board to put these up on, but we can make our own space at home. Okay, I'm going to use this one to make my other letter shape that I'm going to cut out. I'm going to use it as a template. Some people really do like to have a larger pictorial space to work within. Don't cut them out and then make your letters. These are just for me to think about that larger composition rather than these are going to be used for my individual finished piece. So I had an idea that maybe I would join them somehow using this scrap. So I have this thing cut out that I'm going to experiment with. And then I'm going to show you something else I'm going to do with these blocks I already cut out. I'm just going to use them as another template to cut out something that's going to go around each one. The idea with doing this layout part is really just to start thinking deliberately about how we're going to present our pieces. So I could think about, how in the end I could even layer these letters on top of this other space, right? And think about how I'm going to use color. I have my colored pencils to work with too, so that they're framed and they have just a sense of presence to them. I can also think about how to use some form in the negative space to join these letters visually. So I could continue to do this and even hide these joints of separate pieces of paper behind them so that it looks like it's a full composition. But I would really experiment first in your sketchbook. and sketch out some of these ideas so that you can plan out how you want to present your piece.